So mainly this morning you named your squad for the Oceania qualifiers semi and finals to be played here in Hamilton and Auckland. Firstly, how important are these games for the team? Obviously, these will be the qualifiers for the FIFA World Cup 2027.
Yeah, hugely important. I think the Solomon Islands was about going over, getting the job done, making sure we can come home in a really good place. And I think the prospect of being able to play 2 games on home soil, potentially win a final, is massively motivating for the group, but also the carrot of booking a ticket to Brazil is something really exciting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think we've got a really strong, motivated squad to come in to this window, and we obviously have a really important game against Fiji first in Hamilton to get past.
So the Ferns haven't been able to play at home for over a year. How significant is it playing these games at home? How special is it for the players and for the staff to be back here to play these games?
Yeah, I think it means a great deal. I think for our players and staff, like, people probably don't appreciate the travel piece, how hard it is to go into these different environments and travel sort of multi-days to get to these tours. So I think for us to be able to do that, bring everybody home and play in front of our supporters and try and put on a good show to, I guess, showcase what we've tried to do the last 12 months and position ourselves to have success here. It's really special. It's something we obviously want to do more often, but at the same time we know the challenges of getting games to New Zealand, and yeah, look, we're gonna do and cram as much as we can in to make sure we connect with everyone from our community and grassroots, coaches. You know, like, we want to make sure we do a good job of that this tour.
So obviously for the last World Cup, the team didn't have to qualify because they were a host. So this will be the first time that the vast majority of this squad will be involved in a qualification campaign. What does it mean to that group of players to kind of like bond them together as part of that experience of qualifying and then going to a World Cup, or hopefully qualifying and then going to a World Cup?
Yeah. Look, the expectation and the pressure that comes with this game and being a senior international player is something that's not lost on us. So again, the way we've tried to set things up and make sure that we perform every time we get together is always like the top of our list. That exposure for the players is really important. You know, like, we know off the back of last year, like, in pressure situations, you've got to be able to find ways to win games, and that's part of, I guess, our campaign plan and how we do that. So I think for the players, they're well aware of what's at stake, and I think for us it's just making sure we're really consistent, you know, in terms of our approach and the playing group to make sure we can come in, hit the ground running and get results. But yeah, I think the pressure is something we welcome. The expectation is something that we know exists, and yeah, we'll be making sure that we do everything to perform as well as we can.
So the vast majority of the squads were part of the qualifiers in March, with 4 new names brought in, with Ali Green, Jackie Hand, Gabby Rennie and Kate Taylor. Could you speak a bit on the players that you brought in, and also why there's so much consistency, I suppose, between the squad that played the last window?
Yeah, I think from a squad point, it's always super tough. It's the hardest part of the job to land on the squad, right? There's obviously, when you bring the players that you mentioned there into the squad, it definitely adds something different and some different strengths to the group, but it obviously means you have to leave out some players that want to be here, and that's not lost on me either. So yeah, I think the big part around the opposition will play, I think consistency and knowing what that style looks like and building off some of the things we did last tour was really important to our technical team and how we sort of approach the games. But there's probably a couple of areas that I felt like we're going to need to be really strong in, and particularly those wide areas. I felt like we had the opportunity to bring some players back that were either in pre-season going into the last tour or had little niggles before the last tour, that we opted to kind of take a more cautious approach. So I think for Ali G, who's predominantly obviously plays on the left, that's a nice addition. Gabby and Jackie obviously on the other side of the pitch, there's some nice competition there now. And I think with Kate coming back in, she was one that I would have had in the last tour had it not been for a bit of a injury cloud the weeks leading into it. So yeah, I think those are 4 players that definitely strengthen up the squad. But again, we know that everybody wanted to be in this tour, and so that's obviously the hard part of the job.
And lastly, obviously, the semi-final is played in Kirikiri, Hamilton, your hometown. How special is it to lead a team out, or coach that team in Hamilton?
Yeah, gives me a few little goosebumps. I think the importance of the match is really the context of the match is really important to me. You know, to have my whānau there and my boys and my wife to support is going to be special for me personally. But I think just in general, like I know the community in Hamilton will get behind this team. There's already a bit of excitement building around that game, and we want to put as many people in that stand to push and support the group. So we obviously want to do that job well, and then position ourselves to come and play the final in Auckland here. And yeah, it's going to be a really good occasion.
Awesome, cheers, Manny.